Hello and welcome back to Watchme. I am your host, Emily Galindo, and we are here to prove ourselves and others wrong, one success story at a time. And we are super excited to have our guest today. There's something about her energy that is very caring, and I love that. Every time I see her or talk to her, I just feel this immense amount of genuine care. And so I think that's a great way to start our week, is by having somebody talk to us about how much they care about others and care about what they do. And so please welcome Erin Paumen with Erin Paumen Health Insurance.
Hello. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good.
I'm excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
Good.
Thank you.
I have not gotten to know you very well, and so I genuinely am very interested in talking with you today. And so my first question, though, I prep everybody for, is the only question I prep people for, is if somebody's tuning in right now and you want to make an impact on them, what is the one message you want them to have?
I mean, you already said it, proving them wrong, but really, I think I've been doing that for such a long time, creating the life you want that other people's don't understand. Things that I do, a lot of times people don't see the vision behind it, but you will eventually see the vision behind it. And I feel like, people tell you can't all along the way, and you totally can. You just have to take action on the things that you really want in your life. And so I feel like I've been doing that for a lot of years, and it's finally starting to pay off.
Ah, nice. I love that. I've been really starting to kind of adjust my perspective on discipline and things like that.
Yeah.
And reworking my relationship with that word, discipline.
Yeah.
And I really started to kind of own, just do something today that your future self will be happy with, appreciative of in the future.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be some huge thing. That's what I'm trying to, we create these elaborate lists of things that we think we need to do, but really, what's the most important thing you could take off of that list today that you could do, and not overthink it and just put done stamp on it, because the more that's in your brain, it weighs you down and then takes the energy out of what you're doing. That's kind of how I look at it.
For sure. And that was, I love the, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, the wearing the same thing every day. That's the one thing you can take off your list of decision making.
It's not important. We just have to get dressed every day, right?
You're right. I'm not at that level yet, but no. I mean, I would love to be able to do that. But it even equates into, I was talking over the weekend with my friends about, dating and things like that, wanting a man to just be ready at 6 and wear this, and you're like, yes, this
sounds good.
Right? Doesn't that sound amazing?
Mm-hmm.
One less decision for me to have to make. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And so, yes. Okay. So let's talk about that vision. What vision are you creating right now?
Right now, I mean, basically I want to create a vision where I serve God, I serve my family, and then I serve my business, and I do it in that order. That's my goal. Is, I think when I first started, it was kind of a little jumbled, where I was saying no to this and I was saying no, I felt like I was not winning in any boat that I was in, because, gotta work, gotta take care of my kids. And now I'm just nope, I serve it in that order, where it's the things I'm doing, and now the things that are coming back to me. They're people who have kids. They're people who, they want to build a business and they want to have the ability to have a family, and you can have all that in one big space. I feel like it's easy to have those things if you just know which priorities are.
Have you gotten to a place where, when people approach you for something, whatever it is, like coming to an event, when you're calculating whether or not you're going to go or not, do you actually funnel it through that filter?
I do. I have to. I mean, I'm the chauffeur, so I take them and I pick them up. And so, all the things kind of go through me. And it's if it's really important to me, I will make it happen. There are things that I'm yep, I have to, I have to make an appearance at this. I want to go meet new people. Putting yourself outside of your comfort zone is a big part of that.
Yeah.
But you can have both things. When my kids know that I'm working, the doors close, they know that I'm focused, that's my time. And then when it's their time, I look at it equally as that, the doors closed to some of the stuff that it's okay, got to have a little bit of boundaries between both of them, so you can have both. You just have to have some clear boundaries on both of them.
Yeah. And I think that maybe for me, as a very driven, high performing person, which I know that you are as well, it bled together for a really long time.
It did.
And a lot of things got missed that were really important, spending time with my kids and things like that, right? Because I had to win the award. I had to be the best. I had to get the business done, which you can say feeds the children or whatever. Yeah. But it takes something really for me, it took like rocking the life force, the lifeboat for me to go, oh, this isn't that important. And we can have both.
Yeah.
And you do have to shut those doors. And there is no like real emergency. And I will take care of it when this thing is done.
Yep. I mean, and it's kind of preparing everybody on both sides. Like, you know, what's your system when the emergency comes? Because with what I do, it could come at any time. Like, I'm going to be available for my people, you know, but at the same time, like, my kids understand, like, hey, I need 10 minutes to go deal with this. You know, I'm completely okay closing the door and telling them that I need that, you know?
Right.
But it's also, you know, how your clients, you have to communicate and, you know, your expectations to them as well. Like, I'm here for you. I'm open and available. Here's the number you can call. Here's the number you can text. Like, if you're at the emergency room, I want you to call me.
Right.
Tell me that you need my help. Right.
Yeah.
But if it's like something that can wait, hey, let me know. I get back to you in this amount of time so that we can make sure you have what you need. I mean, just kind of clearly giving those expectations has helped quite a bit, I feel like.
Right. And also, like, even I've learned over the years about like just setting the stage. Well, there's directly setting the stage, like you just described. And then for me, like the non-verbal communication, which is I see the email in my inbox on Friday at 4 p.m. or like on Saturday morning. And it's taken, you know, like that's a me thing that I have to go and I'm not going to answer it.
Taking brain space.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to
That's what
answer
I'm
it
talking
until Monday because that's when I work. And that's the nonverbal communication to the members, to my customers, whatever, that I don't work on the weekends.
Yeah. Let them know when you're available, like when they can expect and how long before they can expect a response from you. Because I think that is pretty much all people are looking for is like when, if I reach out to you on Saturday, am I going to hear from you on Monday? Usually they're okay with it when they just know what that timeline is.
Right. I do enjoy people who have it like in their email, like signature. I really am jealous of people who have the structure, the discipline to like say I respond to emails at like 9 to 10 a.m. every morning and again from 3 to 4 on and like I'm like, how do you do that? Because like I see it in the inbox and I'm like, but I can't answer it.
I never wanted to be like a chain to my calendar, but that really does work for me. If I'm being honest with you, having like clear things and clear times that I work on things, you know, just having some structure. I'd say my systems this year has really helped bring me to the next level because I actually know what I'm doing when I'm doing it. It doesn't feel like a burden because I'm not trying to chase like 100 things around all the time.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, you're not really chained to your calendar when you actually use it as the tool that it is. So it's a good thing.
Lonnie's doing a lot of good work on
That
you.
may have been who helped me realize these things. I was not grown up a year ago, guys.
I was just going to ask him, like, and so how long, I mean, what got you to this place?
Well, I mean, I guess I didn't really know that life was going to change, like, you know, right around enrollment time. But I always try to do some kind of coaching before open enrollment to kind of gear myself up. Well, she helped me get a lot of systems in place. She helped me get, you know, the mindset, like that I don't need to be working every minute of every day because that's how I am. I can get like that. And it's like all these things we put in place, you know, now are serving me where open enrollment came. Well, you know, my daughter got sick. We ended up having to, you know, take her out of school, which is a lot on my plate, running a business, homeschooling, all of the things. And all of those systems that I put in place have gotten me like well past where I would have been, you know, if I would have worked my normal schedule. So it takes away the guilt when you have all these things in place because you know what's going on. You know how to track it. You know where you are when you sit down to actually commit to doing the work. And now I'm actually like a whole different level. And, you know, that was working part of a time. Like, you know, as a teacher.
Imagine what it would be like. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like those systems. I wish I would have learned that earlier in my business because it just took a lot more of me working in it every day, running around. Yeah. And now I'm working on it. Like it's working itself. Right now I have things that are happening and I'm right here. So.
Right. Okay. And so let's talk about what is it that you do for a living?
So I do health insurance for individuals, small businesses, you know, families, majorly because we were in the boat of that. And, you know, worked for companies our whole life, and in oil and gas you get let go often.
Yep.
And so I'm like, there has to be a better way. And so unfortunately we've been in the shoes, we've been laid off, we've worked for companies that cost your mortgage when you are with a smaller business, and it's like $2,800 for your family.
Yep.
Not affordable. And so really knowing what is in the individual market, I mean, my own research kind of led to me helping other people do the same thing, because it's scary when you lose your health insurance. We were pregnant with our son the first time that it happened, and losing coverage when you're pregnant is very difficult.
Yeah.
And so even though we had coverage, he got another job, like it started right, the next week or whatever, it's still the whole picture of, all the money and the deductibles. You don't understand that when you don't do it for a living every day. And it was a very scary time. And that's what I hope to help people avoid is like, it's fine. We're going to get through this. There's options. Here's what they are. What, pros and cons, what's going to work the best, for where you are, right. What your situation is.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, like the independent brokerage aspect of it, because I think most people's interaction with health insurance is, here's what it is, and take it or leave it. Like
here's an option. Good luck.
Right. Like I remember my very first corporate job, and I was super excited because it came with benefits. Right. Yes. I was a server, bartender. I was like, yeah, let's do this. Ooh. And it ended up costing me, I want to say, $800 a month.
That's insane. Yeah.
That's insane. And I was working for the world's largest digital marketing agency.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I am a 25-year-old single person with no health issues. Like, why do I have to pay this? Right. And then like I do it for 6 years. Fast forward, I finally get pregnant, and then the insurance company won't pay my shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like where I want to have my baby.
Yeah. And people think, well, I already pay all these huge premiums every month. Like, and then now I need to pay more on top of that. Well, that's a part of like us having that real conversation. Like, here's what you paid. Just be insured every month. That's like, now if we use it, that's a whole nother column of money that we're talking about. I mean, it's really kind of helping people understand, like, if you get pregnant, if you get in an accident, if you are hospitalized, what do you need to come up with, and do you have that in your savings account? Because you're not going to go get a surgery anymore where they're going to be like, okay, we'll bill you. That's not how that works anymore. They're going to have you pay your full deductible or your whatever you owe at the time before you even go do it.
Right.
And most people don't
unless you're dying.
That. Unless you're dying, yeah. And you don't want to be that either. So
right. I mean, like, we could get down the spiral of the whole entire system and how it's flawed.
It's crazy.
And all of that, but we have to work within it, because that's the system we have.
That's exactly what we do, is we work it so that way that, like, when the thing happens, not when, but if, like, what is it going to look like? What's the worst case scenario? So, if I have an accident, I know that, like, it's only going to cost me X amount of dollars. Like, I'm not worried about any of it. I know that I can go anywhere, so I'm not worried about being at a network. Like, those are the things you have to think about when you have your health insurance policy, is like, if you have this type of policy, oh, I have to stay at a certain hospital or doctor. Most people don't realize that, and we didn't either.
Right.
So...
yeah, you don't realize it until you get the bill.
Until you
oh,
actually
hey, that
use
was
it.
out of network, right? Or whatever.
Have a baby out of network. It's very expensive.
Yeah. Like the emergency room, the standalone emergency rooms.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Those
are
could go down a hole on those. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to what they're billing there. So if it's not a true emergency, urgent care. Like, if it's something minor, if you desperately are like, needing a life-saving event, then you go to an emergency room.
Right.
But urgent cares are really where people need to be going.
Yes, please remember that. Because you don't want the bill from it.
No.
So how long have you been doing this?
This is my 5th year. So started this in COVID. That was fun. Yes. I was in real estate before this. And, that was right after we had our baby and went back to work. And, well, then COVID started, and so I wasn't out showing houses with my kids and, all of that kind of stuff. And at that time, my husband lost his job, and that was like our 3rd time he had lost his job. And I'm like, okay, we cannot do this anymore. We desperately need something that's not tied to work, to where we can still know we have insurance and you can go do whatever you're going to do.
And, oh, by the way, it'll make us money.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that aspect too.
Yeah.
So, I'm assuming somebody brought this opportunity to you?
Yeah. Well, I was actually shopping online for insurance for us. basically looking like, well, this was when I was pregnant with Wyatt. And so I had met someone in our industry. I liked how they approached the whole thing. It wasn't like, here's what it is, like sign up or don't sign up. It's like, okay, hey, right now you're pregnant and we need to consider these things. And, basically thinking of what our family needed, not just like, here's what it is. Like, that's what most insurance is like, it's not meant to fit you. But there are things out there that you can tailor what's important to you for the specific times that you're going through.
So give us a little bit of that. Like, explain that the box isn't right, like my corporate experience was, here's the policy. Yeah. You have policy A,
here's
B, or C.
Here's 3 to pick from.
Here's 3 to pick from. And you have to read everything and go, I guess this is the closest I can get to the thing I need, or whatever, right?
And yes.
And you're telling me that there's more tailored options out in the marketplace that you have access to that can actually build a policy that actually is for me.
Yes. I mean, and we don't just look through the marketplace. So basically we're looking at, they call the marketplace lots of things. Obamacare, ACA, healthcare.gov. That's like its own entity. There's also private things you can look at. So asking a lot of questions. I mean, I'm going to ask you medications. I'm going to ask you what health issues have you dealt with in the past. If you're like really healthy, it doesn't make sense to go in a pool of people that they don't look at health issues, right? So if you're, either going through the marketplace or you're going somewhere else, it's usually because of income or it's because of health. Mm-hmm. Some people have the income, but like they have very high health needs. So they definitely have to stay in the marketplace. Like medications are expensive or something like that. People that, now they're business owners, maybe they're making a good amount of money. Well, they're no longer getting those income subsidies anymore. And so they're paying an outrageous price usually. I mean, I was shopping for a couple last week. It was like $1,700 for 2 of them. They're in their, early 60s. We looked at a policy outside of the marketplace, doesn't have anything to do with income, but we shaved off like $500 of that. Now they have a PPO, they can travel. So there's different things you can look at. It makes sense for some people because of their income to stay in the marketplace. But if you're no longer getting any help with those tax subsidies, then we move that from, okay, I own a business, let's move that and give us some tax advantages over here so that, we're not trying to keep our income low anymore. We're, as you grow in a business, that's the craziest thing to me is that people try to keep their income low. So you shift that to be a business tax advantage rather than trying to keep your income low with your individual taxes.
I love that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, yeah. And so do you work with like CPAs and things like that on that angle?
Absolutely. Yes. So anytime, you're considering doing some of that, most of the time your CPA's already told you like, okay, you're at this level, whether you're at 200,000 or whatever it is for the annual, like they tell you your number. We look at it, we plug it in and we decide like, okay, you're really not getting any help here. Does it make sense to look at something else over here? Mm-hmm. And for business owners that know that they're not going back to a large corporate position, or they know that they're not going back to like their work, corporate jobs, you want something that you don't have to keep doing this over and over every year. So there's things we can put you on that they look at your health today, they underwrite your health, and they also guarantee coverage until you get to 65 if you choose that type of coverage. Right. So it makes sense for people that, like my husband, when we first started this, he's completely healthy, so were our kids. We looked at his health then. Now at 35, he has guaranteed coverage until he gets Medicare if he chose to stay on that. It's also meant for people that, maybe that's their plan today, but what happens in 2 years when they decide to switch it up, because that's how life is, it always changes. Well, they're not stuck in those plans either. So it's really meant to move with you, but it's long-term protection if you choose for it to be.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you work with Caleb? Have you talked with him yet? Mm-mm. I feel like you guys should have a one-to-one. Okay. He was on a few weeks ago, but I think that they're looking at exit strategies for businesses or even tax saving opportunities. He talks about this virtual team of people to help from a financial standpoint to create, manage assets and things like that. And some of them are retired. I mean, well, I understand, but retired, but you can retire before you're 65 and there's a gap there. So with high wealth individuals. And
that is one of the largest pools of people that I'm probably talking to right now is we want to retire early. Oh crap, our COBRA only lasts for 18 months, or maybe your spouse is going to Medicare and you're not. Like
Right.
what happens with them?
Yeah.
Well, those are perfect people we can help. Is like, you know, that cobra won't last forever, but you know, while you're healthy and while you're, you know, let's just look at it, because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can come off of your cobra at any time. You can apply for these other types of policies at any time, but the health part is a big factor in all of it.
What would you say is the biggest challenge in your business?
I would probably say, you know, really just helping people, you know, understand, like, I understand insurance, obviously,
Right.
but, you know, understanding what's most important to them. Sometimes it doesn't always line up. Like, I want this cheap policy, but like, here's the things that are important to me is kind of bringing together, you know, the two different things is like, you know, insurance is expensive. So kind of getting them, you know, when you're employed with a company, you might pay a couple $100s every month. When you look at like our family, you're looking at like $1,200 a month. So kind of wrapping their head around, like, you know, I've talked people into like, come off of the marketplace so you have tax advantages in your business. We're going to raise your premium to get there though. Like, it's hard to convince someone to do that, but really when they see the benefits,
Right.
not only like to be able to use their policy anywhere, because you don't get to go anywhere nationwide on an HMO marketplace type policy, but they want to see the benefits. Like, what are they paying for every month? And so that's different to every individual person, is, you know, understanding what they specifically think that means to them
Right.
as far as like what they're paying for.
And I'm like looking, I'm just sitting here going, I have been approached so many times in my career and about being in insurance sales of all the types, right? New York,
Not
like
where I thought I would
life,
be. I'm not gonna
health.
lie.
And I'm like, I would rather gouge both my freaking eyes out because like I just get so angry talking about insurance.
I get
like
it.
the entire concept of it all. Like I can't get my head out of $1,200 a month and
It's
nothing
insane.
fucking happened to me.
Yeah,
Like I'm skewed.
that's
Like I
just
know
to
that
be
you're
insured.
like I am angry about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you like pay all of this money and you don't see a single thing from
It's
it.
just to be insured. But I mean,
So help me get out. Like help me.
it's, yeah, I mean, it's also, you know, what happens when you don't have insurance and something major happens. I can tell you, like, you know, the biggest myth, I feel like people come to me, there was someone who was like, oh, they have to pay for your chemo treatment. And I'm like, no, that's actually not true. There's just a lot of myths in healthcare. Well, they have to help, they have to treat me. Well, that is true. If you're in a fatal emergency, like, they do have to treat you.
Like
But it
catastrophic
doesn't
event, I
mean,
can absolutely get taken care of. But other
absolutely,
than that, you're screwed.
it doesn't mean that they have to cure you though. They don't have to, you know, they're going to get you stable and they're going to send you home and you're going to go to a specialist. And what happens, I mean, I have a specialist for like my ear. They won't even see me if I don't have a certain type of policy. I could offer to cash pay. I could offer, you know, with my marketplace plan. No, they will not see me unless I have a certain type of coverage. So it's just kind of how, you know, doctors are working these days because of the way our health system is. So insurance, our sick system.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I mean, I'm just, because I worked during COVID at a medical, like a podiatrist office or whatever, and learned more about insurance, right. And having to pre-qualify them and tell, you know, we were going to go into surgery and I'm going to need X amount of dollars before otherwise. And then like this other, we're going to go down the rabbit hole anyway. Like the doctor wants to prescribe X medication. He knows that it works better for all of his patients, but we have to go through this one and this one and this one and do like 9 months of this shit and wait for it to fail for them to be able to prescribe the thing that they actually want to prescribe. And in reality, that's all just because they want the patient to get tired of coming back to the doctor and doing all these things and give up so that they don't have to pay for the expensive thing.
That happened with our daughter's asthma medication, right? Like some of those start at like $400, which to like an average person, yes, I can pay for it. But like for a couple of years, we've been doing this since she was 2. She has very severe asthma. But when it all got out of hand last year, it was like, oh, we have to try 6 other inhalers before they'll let us prescribe this one, and your insurance won't pay for it because it's $3,500. Like, if you go look it up, it's just insane. And it's like, we're going in the wrong direction here. We're on 5 or 6 medications. You know, it just didn't make a lot of sense. And that's where people get to, is like, who pays for that $3,500 medication? Well, it's you. If you
do. All of us, the pool.
All of us are paying for it.
Right, right. And then, but then we won't look at the balance sheet of where the profits.
Where did it go?
Where did the profits go, and who did they go to? It wasn't to us. I'm sorry. I know that, but like it's just so infuriating.
It is infuriating.
Even looking at like eye insurance, right? Like if you would just pay for my LASIK, I'm freaking 40 years old. So if you would have just done that 20 years ago, you would have had
saved me a lot of money.
And them, they got to pay the provider for all the eye exams and the contacts and the glasses, and like we could have just cut. Like I feel like it's short-sighted vision.
Yeah. Well, and I mean that's kind of the idea behind, these underwritten policies, right? So when you're on the marketplace, like if you get in a car accident, me and you are paying for that. We're in a pool of people. Like your health issues or my health issues.
Right.
When we start picking out healthy people and we start putting healthy people in a group, well, guess what? Those people generally don't have really high claims. They generally aren't taking like their $3,000 medication. Most of the time, they don't even go to the doctor. I mean, They don't care about those little things, but what they do care about is like if I get hit on the highway and I break my arm and I need to go in an ambulance and have, a surgery,
you're
like
paying for it.
What's that going to cost me? Like and can I get the care I need? Right. So that's what I feel like you're paying for. You're paying for access. You're paying for the ability to, not think about what hospital you need to go to when you break your arm instead of, taking my daughter to Texas Children's, like what's in network. I couldn't tell you because that's what a PPO is it lets me go wherever I choose. I don't have to think about it. And it gives me access to those doctors and hospitals to where, I'm not having to drive. People drive like 40 miles down the road to go to a doctor. Mm-hmm. That's just insanity to me. And most of them actually do need these doctors. They have very, high health needs. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense to do all that stuff.
So from the business perspective, I mean, we've been doing this 5 years. In the networking world, like I would say for a while there, health insurance provider brokers were like a dime a dozen. They were we're like real estate agents. And now I'm having a hard time finding any good quality ones. Like what's happened in the industry that you want to fill us in on the last 5 years?
I mean, I don't think anything major's changed in our industry, but in order to like make it, I would say in this is like you have to have a little bit of, most insurance people are here because something big happened. Like they have a belief in it because of something like that. For me, it was my mom. She was, critically ill in the hospital for almost 80 days. And when she passed away, like it was like $2 million of bills. And she had amazing insurance. So that really kind of like, and as I learned, as we were going through stuff and like she had all the right things in place and it was like an eye opener for me. Like I better get my shit together because she wouldn't have done those things. My dad wouldn't have retired. He would have never been able to sell his house. He retired early. Like you said, that's kind of how I got into researching this a little bit too, is like what's out there for those people when he wants to leave his job, but it won't get you to Medicare. So yeah, it's really like a strong belief in what you're doing. If you're just out there selling insurance policies, I don't think I think that's what makes me different. It's very personal to me. Like I have to be able to know, like I did the right thing for you. When you call me, I take it very personal to where it's like, when you call me and you have an emergency, I could be like, okay, hey, remember we built this thing in your policy where when you get in an accident, it's not going to cost you like 20 grand. You remember? Like I get to give them good news about their situation when they're having their hard times. And most medical things are hard times.
Right. It's never a good thing when I need to use my medical.
Yes. And they're not thinking clearly. So it's like, I've already have clients that I'm like, oh yeah, your son broke his arm. We're good. Like you guys take care of him and we'll work out these details. Like you already have what you need in place and I'm here to help you with it. Like you don't have to go on it on your own.
And so is that the full part of your business, is just selling policies and taking care of people? And
yeah.
Are you building a team or anything like that? Or is that
at one point I was,
okay.
Yeah. With our daughter's health, it just kind of took a turn where I had to focus on that. So that may be in the future, but right now it's just me. And when you call me and you have my phone number, like most people go online and they shop for policies. Well, when you call me, it comes straight to me. You're not worried about like 400 people sending your number out there.
When you told me you had got on the internet to like look for your own insurance, so I was like, oh my gosh, you were inundated with mailers and phone calls and text messages.
You're never getting off of that list.
You're never getting off.
You're a lifer at that point.
Yes.
And there's just millions of agents across the country that are going to be calling you that, they have different things. And when you really study what's available out there, it's kind of horrifying. Like, I mean, they've made a lot of changes this year with laws and stuff like that. To what you can keep for long term. Like, basically there's like short term policies but that could change again. That was, all these different political things kind of change. But, it's like you have a major event on those policies. Knowing the fine print is the most important part, like, because they can kick you off. They can, basically leave you uncovered for part of a year. And I don't go with those types of products.
Right. Well, I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, no matter what insurance you're on, at some point they can always just go, we're just not going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Like whether it was built into the policy or not, and then you've got that whole aspect of the insurance that I'm also a big fan.
Yeah.
But you seem to have is it all like this desire to create the systems and actually create the vision? The vision, let's go back to that. What is the vision that you have for your business and for your life?
I mean, mainly right now, I already feel like I'm living my vision. If I'm being honest,
I
it's
love
like,
that.
Being really involved in my kid's life is very important to me. Being able to I've had to get up in the middle of a conversation and be like, oh my gosh, I've got to go. I used to feel really, really guilty about that. But at the same time, it's like people that know me understand. Like, now I'm not in that part of my life. My daughter's healthy, but, being the person for them is my vision. And building something where, I have the freedom to decide, like, okay, what's most important, that in my world is the vision. Being able to, help people through I always love a good challenge that people come to me with them every day. It's like those things are what kind of make me tick as far as, helping people. Maybe I won't be able to actually sell them a policy, but giving them good advice because they just don't know what they don't know. I didn't know what I didn't know. And so it's like, I feel like I'm already living it just by what I'm doing. And people, now are calling me for my help. And that just means a ton because it's like, that means I did take good care of the people that were behind them. And because I take it deeply personally, that's what keeps my business going. So
I love that. And I smiled real big when you said that because I'm like, I feel that so much about, and I think it's just, when you're doing that, you draw the people to you that are also in that same space or whatever. I don't think that any one of our members or any of the people that I associate with really know we're very clear about balance, how to feed all aspects of life to, into. And so none of are things difficult, and do we have challenges, and do we need to process and yeah, of course it's life, but we have the tools to work through them and work and do it well, and we can identify and prioritize and have set boundaries, and everybody who's around you is like, I totally understand, and there's and everybody just accepts it, and there's no work-life balance because it all kind of just is flowing effortlessly, at least in my I
think most of the what do you call burnout in business comes from us doing it to ourselves. It's not other people that do it. It's us and these expectations that we put on ourselves. And now I'm just like, okay, if I get in those, because we all still go back into our panicky moments. It's like, what's one thing I could do right now that's going to take a lot of stress off my plate? And it doesn't have to be some big, huge, it's just doing it. Imperfect action is going to beat it out every single time. And not staying in this comfort thing. I mean, that's how I got to you, is okay, I got to go meet new people. Okay, I could do that. It just kind of changed my whole perspective on my business again. Came out of something that was kind of painful, taking your kid out of school, changing networking. It's all the things, but it's how you react to them that matters the most. And doing the next right thing all the time, taking action. That's what's going to get you farther than the person who thinks you have to have these grand plans of, elaborate scheme, just little things.
I also want to highlight, at least for me, but in most cases, when I'm in some of those hard spaces or whatever, I do the thing that I'm supposed to do, but I do it with a lot of anger or resentment, or like I fight against it, but I'm going to do it anyway. But I'm like, I don't want to freaking do this right now. Whatever, like the cold plunging or slam balling to get my anger out or whatever. And I have to have like 3 or 4 people be like, did you do
the thing?
Did you do the thing? And I'm like, I don't want to do the thing. And they're like, okay, you got to do the thing, because it's the thing that's going to pull you out of. But I wonder why is it that we resist the thing?
It's because we want to be in comfort. That is the
It
one
is not
thing.
comfortable to be angry.
Yeah, but also it is. You can control your thoughts, but you can't always control outside. You can't always control the outside factors. For me, it's like going into a room of networking people, that's my thing. Like, I'm just like, oh, I'm here, but I'm going to bolt. I'm going to go back to the parking lot.
Really?
This is me. But it's like, no, I'm going to stay here. I already made it through the door. You're just kind of talking yourself off a ledge the whole time you're there. And then eventually you're like, oh, I'm having a great time. Why was I,
Right.
dead set on not coming here today?
I love that part of the process. Looking back and going, oh, I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
That
you feel
discipline
accomplished
thing. Yeah.
and you feel confident.
Right. Yeah.
When you actually show up, you can build confidence in yourself because you actually, the promises you make to yourself, the more you can actually, fulfill those promises to yourself, the better you're going to get. You worry about letting other people down, but you really should just worry about letting yourself down, because other people are going to let you off the hook. They will.
It's so true. I have the doctor I went to go work with, actually, he was like that. He doesn't like having workout partners because he doesn't want them to get in the way of his of his dedication to his process, right? Where I do the opposite.
You need a person.
I have to have an accountability buddy. I've got this call that I do every morning, and everybody does their own thing, but we're just there. And the reason we show up is not because I know I need to move my body and I care enough about my self-care and I need to do. It's to show up for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're all a whole bunch of codependents.
I did that for years with my sister-in-law, and I never wanted to cancel because it was then I knew she was going to get mad at me. It's just different. You know? You show up because you're like, oh, okay, I have to. And you don't want to let someone else down.
Right. Yeah. But I want to get to the place where the person I don't want to let down is me.
Yeah, I've changed my mindset on that a little bit, because it's okay, why do I talk myself out of things that I know I need to do? It's way too easy. And it's no, I just need, it's kind of like an appointment on your calendar. You're not going to message the person that you have to talk to later today and be like, yeah, I'm just not really feeling it today. You're not going to send them the same message that you would give yourself.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Fair. I did not know that about you in networking. I'm
getting there.
Hearing that.
I'm getting there. I say I always have to just play a character. I'm going to be okay, I'm going to go meet my 5 people and then I'm going to go.
That's good to know. The next time I see you at a networking event,
you see me solo, I need a wingman.
I will 100%. I'll be here, let me give you some of my
yeah, I need a wingman.
Ridiculous amounts of, I love to work a room. Although there are some rooms that and I don't know what it is, but there are some networking environments that I walk in and I'm I am not feeling this. I just don't.
I've always been an observer, but being the person that needs to go out and you to leave a lasting impression on people. Yep. I'm okay, I need to go talk to people, shake some hands. It's just a different role than I've done before. Right.
Well, I think that though, just for feedback, but the lasting impression that you make, especially in the insurance world, is that you don't ever talk about it. And I know that my coaching and networking is always to be forward facing and be intentional and all of that stuff. But I think that lands, which is why the intro was what it was, because you genuinely just are what's going on with you? And how can I, what can I do to help?
I don't want to be that person that walks in a room and you're oh my God, she's going to come for me. I'm not coming for you. But if you need my help, please call. That's how I look at it. I'm not coming for you.
Right. I love that. Well, it's been wonderful talking with you. Yeah. I'm going to leave it there because please call. Please call Erin Paumen. Her contact is in the show notes. She really does care about people and want to help. And this is a complicated issue that none of us know anything about. And for some of us makes them very angry.
Yes.
Am I alone in that?
No.
Okay.
There's lots of people that feel the same.
Okay. Very good. I just need to know. We always are trying to
Yeah.
confirm, are we normal?
I'm like, I just validate it. I'm like, yes, I agree. Very frustrating.
It is very frustrating, but you have a very calm approach to it. So thank you for that.
Thanks.
And thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Thank you.
guys, go take a little piece of action to outside of your comfort zone this week. That is how Erin has been so successful. And so we appreciate you. Go prove yourself and others wrong. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.